Hello there. A cooler, fresher feel to the north of Europe over the next couple of days. If we take a look at the satellite picture, two areas to point out to you. One, a plume of cloud just affecting North Africa, and that will move its way into Spain. And also these weather fronts pushing their way from west to east across northern Europe, producing a cooler, fresher story, a bit more of a breeze and temperatures down on where they were a few weeks ago. But further south, there's a good deal of dry, sunny weather in the offing, and you can see that across much of Turkey, through the Greek Isles into mainland Greece, a scattering of showers for the Balkans and a few isolated ones for Italy, but generally dry, and the French Riviera looks fine. Now that cloud still producing the threat of rain really across parts of southern and eastern Spain, and they will drift their way steadily northwards. And then across the UK into northern France, the Low Countries, Scandinavia, we will see outbreaks of showery rain at times and temperatures a little more subdued. That's going to be the story for the second half of the weekend, improving across central and southern parts of the UK and into France. A good deal of dry, sunny weather in the story. And in fact, if we look ahead, the city forecast shows a lot of dry weather in the offing as well. Temperatures into the mid-20s into London by the middle of the week, fine and sunny into Rome. As for Eastern Europe, similar story, not that much to grumble about. Plenty of sunshine with highs of 30 in Athens. Take care. Hello there. Hurricane Norman in the East Pacific has been downgraded to a tropical storm. Now on Thursday we were talking about it brushing perilously close to the big island of Hawaii, but further east, still in the East Pacific, this is Hurricane Olivia. Now, there's still a level of uncertainty as to the track this hurricane is going to take, but there's a potential that it'll move towards the islands of Hawaii during the early half of next week. Certainly one to keep another close eye on. You can see the eye of that hurricane, currently a Category 3 storm. Now, if we move back to North America, here it looks likely that we'll continue to see some heavy rain, particularly through Wisconsin and Illinois. Here there's been some localised flooding. Some areas through the last couple of days have seen 9-10 inches of rainfall, and still we're going to see quite a lot of rain moving up through Texas across to Illinois and just really staying to the south of the Great Lakes. To the north and west of that, a little bit cooler and fresher, with the weather front pushing into the Pacific Northwest for the start of the weekend, and that's going to affect the temperatures just slightly. So across that east coast, we'll start to see those showers drifting a little bit further south into Washington. The heaviest of the rain, as I say, likely to be through parts of Illinois again. Nashville, Tennessee, perhaps a scattering of showers. Atlanta staying largely fine and dry, but it does look as though those showers are set to continue, particularly through Miami, easing slowly through the weekend. That's it. Take care. Hello there. A few days ago, we saw the birth of our first major hurricane in the Atlantic, Florence. Now, although it has weakened off as it continues to track its way steadily westwards, we're expecting it to strengthen again over the next few days, potentially make landfall close to the islands of Bermuda and then track its way up across that east coast of the USA. So keep a close eye on that one. Generally through the Caribbean, though, it's a case of sunny spells and scattered showers over the next few days. We're seeing some fairly widespread showers across Central America and some flooding rains through the far northwest of Mexico, and that story is set to continue as we move into the weekend. So our city forecast picks up some of those sharp showers. It looks as though the best of the weather likely to be in Kingston, Jamaica. As for South America at the moment, it's business as usual, fairly straightforward fare. Really some showery outbreaks of rain down to the south, snow to higher ground. And up into the north, we've got our usual showers, Venezuela, Colombia, some heavy ones, and some perhaps just drifting into the far north of Brazil as well. Now, some of these showers quite heavy, but they'll be interspersed with sunshine. And then further south, it's fine, settled and sunny. Mid-20s likely into Rio de Janeiro. Better weather into northern Argentina in comparison to a week ago. And there's that rain and snow with the elevation I was talking about. So for the next few days, we keep the sunshine into Rio, although clouding over a little bit by the middle of the week. Hello there. The main weather story at the moment in Asia is the heavy rain that's through Japan, and we'll take a look at that in a little more detail from this stationary weather front. And in fact, if we look at the satellite picture, it's a beautiful stripe of cloud that's moving its way south and out of central China into southern China, across the Korean Peninsula and into Japan. Now that is going to bring potentially another 150 to 300 millimetres of rain over the next 24 to 36 hours. on top of the already severe heavy rain that they've seen with the recent typhoons. So that's certainly worth bearing in mind. Now, if we push further south, we'll see some heavy rain into southern areas of China, some sharper showers into North Vietnam, down into Malaysia. The showers easing in intensity a little into Indonesia, as you'd expect really at this time of year. So Osaka will stay pretty showery over the next few days. Beijing keeps the sunshine and the warmth, temperatures into the high 20s. Quite quiet at the moment across Australia. Weather fronts moving their way through the Bight, bringing some windy weather to parts of Tasmania. We'll see a weather front moving its way through the Tasman Sea as well. Now, it has brought some heavy rain, but it will weaken as it pushes towards the islands of New Zealand, and that is good news. It's been pretty miserable in the North Island in particular, but one batch of rain moves away, a brief respite over the next few days before they see outbreaks of light patchy rain, I suspect, over the next few days. So as you can see, it's an improving picture into the early half of next week. Hello there. Time to take a look at the forecast then for South Asia, where it's a slow improvement in the story as the monsoon rains continue to push their way steadily north and west. You can see quite beautifully on that satellite picture, great illustration as the rains continue to move its way across to Uttar Pradesh, and maybe over the next day or so we'll see some heavier rains pushing into Punjab as well. It is a slow improvement. There'll be a scattering of showers perhaps into Bangladesh and through the Himalayas, but further south it's fine and it's dry with just a few scattered showers across that west coast to the south of Mumbai. Now, north of that, things remain pretty quiet as well. Still a little bit of fair weather cloud into Kazakhstan, and that will have an effect on the temperature, but generally across the whole of the Stans, it looks as though it's largely fine and settled, with temperatures still likely to peak into the high 30s in places. Now, further south, where there will be a few scattered showers, but as I say, it's an improving picture. Into Sri Lanka as well, a dry, settled story. A few showers along that east coast, but generally speaking, the heaviest of the rains, I've already said, largely through Uttar Pradesh. So there are signs of an improving picture. Many of our cities see a good deal of dry weather over the next few days, with those temperatures pleasant enough, mostly into the low 30s. Tashkent will see blue sky and sunshine for the next 5 days, and again those temperatures high 20s, low. Hello there. Plenty to talk about in Central Africa at the moment. The seasonal rain's pretty active, particularly on the west coast. Now, as you can see quite clearly from the satellite picture, this lumpy looking shower cloud, some pretty intense showers start off across the Ethiopian highlands and then they drift their way steadily westwards. Now, in the last couple of days, we've seen some very heavy rain across the Gulf of Guinea, out through Sierra Leone and in particular through Senegal, where there's been 7 inches of rainfall reported. And it's this circulation that drifts off into the Atlantic and potentially forms into a hurricane. So the rain's pretty active through the course of the weekend, in particular, as you can see by the brighter, vibrant colours, the intensity of that rain. Further south, we've also seen some rainfall as well, but many of our major cities are fine and settled, and the rain easing in Cape Town to sunshine and a little more warmth, with temperatures into the low 20s. We could even pick up a few isolated showers into Khartoum, but then it's business as usual through the middle part of next week. Across the Middle East, again, it's business as usual, really. It's settled, it's sunny, it's quite quiet, with just a light breeze at the moment. Temperatures not as extreme as they were a few weeks ago, but nevertheless, they're still peaking into the low 40s. And it looks likely as though we'll continue along that pattern over the next few days. Our city forecast shows little in the way of change. Blue sky, sunshine, and hot with it too.